Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's reading is a special one as it's a collaboration with one of my favorite readers here on YouTube and one of my dear friends, Helen from Eye of the Serpent Tarot. She is a phenomenal reader. I do not even have to go into how, precise her insights are, not just the precision, but the way she shares her wisdom through the cards. And it's so comprehensible, so digestible, the way she shares whatever comes through the cards, and I really admire her for that. She's been an inspiration, and so I'm so happy that we are doing a collaboration again after a long time. The reading that we are going to do today is a hidden pattern that is keeping you from success, which is what I would look into, and Helen would be looking into an unexpected strength that would bring you success. So we have three piles to choose from, but before we get into the reading, I just want to remind you guys that any psychic readings, any tarot readings, card readings are only meant to give you insights and clarity and empower you. They are not a replacement for professional, medical, legal, business, or health advice of any sorts. Please seek the right professionals for the same. And now, before we get into the choices, take a deep breath in from the top of your head till the tip of your toes, breathing out through your mouth, and I'm going to ring the singing bowl. One more time, breathing out through your mouth. All right. Please set the intention that the messages that come through are for your highest good and clarity. The first group that we have is the Greer Tarot. This is how it looks like from the back. The second group is the Santa Muerte Tarot. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is the back side of the deck. And the third group is the Radiant White Spirit Tarot, one of the frequent ones. And that's how it looks from the back. You are more than welcome to choose one or more piles. Set the intention for the messages to come through for your highest good and clarity. And I will see you in your reading. Hi, Group 1. If you chose this deck, which is the Morgan Greer Tarot, this is going to be a reading. Before we get into your cards, let's see what needs to come through the psychic messages or channeling for you. Just give me a moment. All right, Group 1. Group 1, I wonder if there is some sort of performance or something around performance that's significant for you. It's important to well, it's important for everybody, but for you, I specifically am receiving that first impressions or to mark an impression, um, or how people perceive you is of quite significance to you. It is very valuable to you. So it's not like what I'm perceiving is there is stillness or a sense of stability within you, but there's this still this desire or that intention that people must look at you or perceive you a certain way. So, and you come off or you try your best that you come off as someone who is powerful. And it's not necessarily powerful in the sense of society or like hierarchy, where you stand in society or what you do. Of course, that could be one of the reasons or one of the things that you would um, inclined towards. But what I'm receiving more so is as an individual, as a soul, the strong intention here to look powerful, to be perceived as powerful, to be not underestimated. Yeah, that's the thing, to be not underestimated. So I wonder if there is There's a defensiveness rather. Because internally, I don't perceive a lot of chaos. What I perceive is strong, like a strong defense mechanism or a defensive wall around you, even if it's not a wall, but a defensive, boundary around you, and it is not laced with, but influenced or full of the energy of performance in some way, shape, or form, and performance for power. Interesting. Anyway, so let's move to your cards. First, let's see what your current pattern or belief is that is impacting your success. We have Hanged Man. So this is the belief. I wonder, yeah, that stillness, like, in a way has showed up with the Hangman. Precisive strike or precision strike. That's the term that's coming through. So you take your time. Uh, you build in silence, but whatever impact you make, it's strong. And you build, you work with that philosophy. And it's a major contribution to your success as of now. And we shall now see what is the hidden pattern that is impacting your growth or keeping you from success. What is that hidden pattern? The future isn't that interesting. Do we need more cards? No. Yeah, I pile one. I wonder if you guys are people, not all of you, but some of you or most of you rather, who are very anxious, like preparation, planning. That's what, keeping up the performance thing that was coming through. There's something around maintaining status quo in some way, shape, or form, or what you've built. There is nothing wrong or right about it, but what I'm perceiving is more so the fear around it, which is keeping you from your actual success. The fear of how will I maintain this? Is it possible for me to maintain this? Etc. etc. So let's see how is it actually keeping you from success. There's a lot of worry around how you are looked at or perceived. Let's see. We have Four of Cups, Temperance, and then we have Knight of Wands. That's at the bottom of the deck. Page of Wands. Hmm. There is, especially with the Four of Cups, Temperance, and then the Knight of Wands, I perceive, that there is a sense of there's a so the thing is, what I'm receiving is I'm unable to find the words to put it correctly. That's why it's taking my time. Essentially, what I'm perceiving is you might be leaving out opportunities or leaving out, and this is not even opportunities like, some big business deal or something like that, but more so opportunities to connect with the right people because you have a certain sense of, you know, the beliefs that you have in your mind about what is right and wrong, that is too strong in you, so much so that it's keeping you away from what could actually help you move forward in life. So there's this stubbornness to not move away from what you, and it, again, I'm not here to say what's right or wrong, but this is just me reading into what the cards are telling us about what's keeping you from success. And so there's this need to break away from what you have until now learned as what is correct or incorrect, what is right or wrong. This is not about, leaving behind the belief system, rather expanding it even more. expanding the horizons of your belief system. That's what's important, because you might be stuck in a way of being, and what it means to be successful there. Those essentially the strongest words coming are ethics and morality, and that is true. You must operate from utmost integrity and honesty. There is no denial about that. But there could be some thoughts or beliefs that you have that almost feel as strict as religious beliefs, that you cannot maneuver at all, or that restrict you rather than expand you in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I'm receiving. There's some beliefs that are actually, while rooted in the right intention, are no longer working for you, and in the sense that they need to be they need to have more expansion. Your beliefs need to expand more. They need to be more resilient, more. Yeah, there needs to be more allowance. That's what I'm trying to basically get to. You have to have more allowance, because you might be judging things or people too quickly. You might be reaching conclusions too quickly with the beliefs that you have. So it's not at all about leaving your belief systems, or dismantling them and abandoning them at all. Nope. That's not at all what I'm saying. And also, I'm not at all saying that you should leave behind your integrity or honesty. This is more so expanding your integrity by being more in allowance of everything. So it's allowance doesn't mean that you allow people to trample all over you, or crush you. This is allowance of, maybe this is their first impression, but there could be more layers to them. And it's, use your discernment here. It's not necessary that everybody should or may deserve another chance, but it is also not necessary that everybody would not deserve another chance, right? So that is keeping you from success. There's some rigidity that's keeping you from success. There's a way of being. Maybe it's not people, maybe it's a way of creating something, and you might be judging it, whereas maybe you have some capacity within that area, within that thing that you're judging, and capacity to do it in the most ethical or the most integrated and honest way. And that's what you need to figure out, pile one. So next, let's see, what can you do to spot this quickly. Interestingly enough, I'm being drawn to this deck. What could you do to spot this as fast as you could? Solitude. So that tells me, you need to do some inner work. And specifically the way the solitude card is here, this does look like, doing some shadow work, feelings. So there could be a reason behind this rigidity. Maybe it's a learned pattern. Maybe you've seen things not work out, so you completely went to the other, side of the coin, other side of the belief, and you know rebelled or isolated something entirely, rather than finding out how could you make it work, or what your essence or what your learnings could add to this thing that you're totally avoiding. So this is not at all to further any sort of things that or promote any sort of things that are actually harmful in any way, shape, or form, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is. No, not at all. This is more so, how could you move around this, and not that. So when we are avoiding something, then also we are at the effect of a certain belief of, or a certain thing. So what I'm receiving is not being at the effect of it, is actually being in allowance of its energy frequency, not in your life or letting it affect you, but knowing that, oh, okay, this also exists. How can I move through this? How can I move around this? How can I make it work in a much better, in a much conscious, in a much contributive way to myself and others? And that's going to come clearer to you, or become clearer to you, in times that you spend alone. Because what I'm perceiving is, you are a person, maybe you are extremely psychic. That's why we got the hangman also, and I was receiving, how important it is that you are perceived by people, because you are perceptive. Maybe your intuition, your awareness is so high that you could sense people's awareness about you or their judgments about you. And partly, if there are woundings from growing up, there could be also within your intuition, sometimes there are chances that our emotional wounds could get intertwined, and we might interpret our emotional wounds as our intuition. So there's a lot of discernment that is required, and that's why maybe the suggestion for you that has come through for spotting this quickly is to actually spend time alone, and maybe spend time, near water bodies. That's going to be really helpful. Or you can keep a bowl of water in front of you as you meditate, and visualize that any and all energies that are not yours, as you are meditating and breathing out, with every exhale, it's going into that water. And then you can flow that water into Mother Earth, into a plant pot, asking Mother Earth to transform it into consciousness, thanking Mother Earth for its contribution and the water as well. So that's one sort of a ritual that you could try, and I hope that it could be of some use to you. But essentially, maybe even, writing down, journaling is very important, and understanding why do you have such strong feelings around certain things, around certain people, and figuring out what could actually help you have ease with it. Because it might not even be that you will have to take that path, but that the sequence or pattern of that path, or these kind of people showing up in your life, actually could reduce, right? Now, let's move on to what could you do to transform it. So, I've partly discussed that, but let's just see again what the cards have to say. All right. We have Five of Cups and Six of Swords. So there is progress, isn't it? We are going from a five to a six in an unconventional manner, but there's definitely progress that's going to occur for you, pile one. But what we are definitely with the Five of Cups, it's again, then again we have Four of Cups and Five of Cups sort of show up like this. How interesting. So there is definitely progress happening for you, pile one. But what I'm receiving is the reason this is again, showing up is because of something that has occurred in the past, which has led to regret or grief. For some of you, I am also receiving some sort of guilt that you are carrying, and to transform it, connecting with a mentor, connecting with a person is going to be helpful with the Six of Swords here, who could help you move through these turbulent waters, and it's going to be quite relieving, pile one, especially mentally. Any blockages, we are talking about success, but generally also what I'm receiving is, if you are a person who's quite anxious, who gets panic attacks a lot and things like that, you might feel a lot of relief with this. So in case you require to, please do connect with the right professionals for the same. And otherwise, also connecting with the right mentor is going to help you move through this quite um, I'm getting the word effortlessly, but I perceive that the effortless word is actually going to be true for you once you resolve this. And it's not as complicated and as heavy as you might be feeling it in your feelings. And we had the feelings card show up here at the bottom of the deck. So it's more so emotional and feelings thing that's blocking you from success and from maybe connecting with the right people or opportunities. Now, this is how you transform it. So you have to transform the grief. You have to move the grief out of your system. So connecting with a somatic practitioner if you would like to, because I feel for you, with the cards here, pile one, doing somatic practices, body-based practices is going to help you a lot, a lot. It's going to free up your mental space a lot. And lastly, let's see. And yeah, I was also definitely getting, breath work, but you have to be disciplined. That's why I'm receiving connecting with a mentor or a teacher is very important around this, so that you have support as you move through this. So the last thing that we are going to look into is what would be the outcome once once you've transformed this. We have the sacred spirit reading cards for this. Mindful wisdom. Create inner harmony. I mean, we were talking about that. Clear and activate, create sacred space. This is what you need to do. You have to clear this, debris from the past, this emotional debris that's clouding your awareness, because you guys are highly perceptive. We have so much blue in your reading, and that could make sense because we are using the messages from the Mermaids tarot as well. But there's a lot of blue, there's a lot of purple as well. So there's a higher activation of the upper chakras, or the upper energy centers, which is your third eye and your crown, but it's still clouded by the emotional debris from your past. And what you require is, clearing that. And once you do that, mindful wisdom, just look at, um, you know, the expression of this owl. He or she is absolutely unperturbed, not at all disturbed, and so much. It's like calm confidence, essentially. There is no performance at all actually happening here. And especially with the yellows and the greens or the lime green color here, I do perceive that this is work that needs to happen in your heart center and your solar plexus, your power center. So it's about confidence. It's about maybe you've faced betrayals, or maybe you have done some mistakes that you know of, which is keeping you from success, or maybe opportunities that you didn't take and you feel guilty for it. So these are just examples. Working with a professional for this, or with a somatics practitioner at the least, and I mean, at the least is going to be important, and at the very least is to journal about this, because that's going to bring you clarity. And as you transform this, mindful wisdom saves it all. You won't be what you will not be performing, essentially. And in fact, you will be so much more aware as to it's not going to be performance, but you would be aware as to where to be, what energy, with what kind of people, with what kind of opportunities. And in a way that you are able to create more consciousness, that you are able to infuse the energy of consciousness and awareness in your interactions. Now, how does success show up for you once you do this? Let's see. We have Two of Swords and Two of Wands. Pile one, I perceive that your decision making skills are going to be out of this world. Wheel of Fortune is at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, you're completely going to shift out of analysis paralysis, if that's something that you've been struggling with, because this inner harmony that you would create with this transformation that you'll have, wow, that's going to help you, not take in people's BS, and actually have very strong, attunement with your intuition. And so you make decisions intuitively. Your planning skills are going to be exceptional. That's what I'm receiving. And so your success is going to be, it's not going to feel like a far-fetched goal or a dream, because it's that, since your awareness about making the right choices for yourself is going to become so much more clearer, and so much more in harmony with who you are. Because I do perceive that there is this strong desire to create things that not just create greater for you, but the people involved too. So that's what I'm perceiving, that your choices or choice making, prowess is actually going to be top notch as you move through this and transform this, and thus your success rate is going to be much higher, or the success that you actually want will actualize much faster or much more effortlessly than it is happening right now. So pile one, thank you so much for joining. I sincerely hope that this could bring you some clarity, some insight, and empowerment. Do not forget to check out the lovely Helen's reading, and the link to that will be in the description box below. She will look at what strengths or unexpected strength you have or is coming up for your success right now. Thank you again so much for joining. I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hello, group two. If you choose sorry, if you chose the Santa Muerte tarot, this is going to be your reading. And before we get into the reading, let's connect with your energy and see what needs to come through psychically or through channeling. Right, group number two. Group two, I'm getting like there's a strong, not a desire, not just a desire, but more so you're clear that your idea of success is a strong community. community of people who align with values that you hold. And the energy from this community that's coming through is, building each other up. It's about confidence, it's about caring, it's about providing each other, being very in a very symbiotic connection where, you know, the gifting and receiving happens so naturally. And I'm also somehow getting the imagery or castles, essentially. That's what I'm looking at. And castles like the ones that they draw in, the logo of Disney. But this is more so, and the colors are more orange and yellow. So it's more about, brightness, this a lot of providing energy that's coming through. So I wonder if you want to be the provider in your family or you already are, and your sense of, idea of success is like we have these different love languages. So your idea of or your energy seems like acts of service. That's what you want to do for others. And there's a strong thing about community, but like, and also, carrying forward your lineage in some way, shape, or form. So it could be beliefs, it could be way of living, it could be a number of things, but there's something about carrying forward what was natural and true to the lineage, to who you are as a soul, as a being. So this could be your human lineage. And so for some of you, because I'm also getting, star seed stuff or things like that on those lines, for some of you, you could be psychics. So carrying forward your lineage or your practices is essential, is this idea of success that you have, and it's very important to you. Now, let's see what is the pattern or current belief rather that is impacting your success. Hmm. Let's see again. Knight of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the moon energy, and look at how she's looking at her reflection. That's again, it's giving me a lot of esoteric occult like vibe, or living a life that's, around the concept of basically living a very paganistic or paganism based life. Somehow that's coming through. If that's not true for you, for some others of you, I'm definitely getting, connecting a lot with the rawness of nature, and, worshiping nature in a way. So worshiping nature or in connection with nature, connecting with other beings. So by other beings, I mean animals also. So you're, being a contribution to animals as well, to mother nature, to yourself, to the people around you. That is what's coming through. And with the Knight of Swords, the pattern that is impacting your success is, I wonder if you're just taking actions right now and not sharing a lot. So I wonder if you are suffocating a little, because with the way this Knight of Swords is, there is this urge to share something and you need to reach the right place first. So as per you, you've not reached the right place, and there is this almost an agony, or an agonizing energy as to I have to reach there as fast as possible, and then I can share my truth, and then I can express my truth. And that is the current energy or the current belief that might be impacting your success. I don't, this is not lack of confidence, but there's this hesitation about timing, maybe, or the right place. So let's see what is the hidden pattern impacting your success right now. Memories. Hmm. And she's holding some photographs. So I wonder if this is associated with the ask for help. Yeah. So maybe you are in a chokehold of sorts around when it comes to sharing your wisdom. Ancestral stuff is, or the ancestral energy is quite strongly coming up for this pile number two. So I wonder if there is a pattern within the family, or of, stories from your ancestors or from your past, or like we were talking about lineage, where There was suppression of women, essentially. That's what's coming through, or suppression of expression and suppression of the expression of the divine feminine in some way, shape, or form. More so, this is expression as in like speaking your truth more than any other expression. This is more about standing up and speaking your truth. And you've become exhausted with not being able to do that or wanting to advocate for it. So the belief that is impacting your success is right now this emotional intensity or block that you're carrying with the memories that you either are actively reliving or wow, actively reliving. So some of you are actually doing healing work and you might be reliving these memories to move through them and release them. Definitely, seek the right help if you do require it, or do the right things to have ease with it. Don't pressurize yourself too much, because that's what I'm pursuing with the Knight of Swords. This is like one to the point of burnout. Not just burnout. I'm feeling combustion of energy completely, but still going forward, and I commend you for it, but you need to be kinder to yourself while too. So the hidden pattern is actually, what you may be thinking is your strength right now is actually exhausting you a little, because you need more support here, especially with ask for help being at the bottom of the deck. Let us see how it's keeping you from success. So basically, pile two, you need to rest and rejuvenate. That's what I'm receiving. Hanged man and the magician, so major, major energies. Pile two, this might sound a little bitter, but actually, the pause in your life, you may not know it's you manifesting it. So, your blocks actually, while if it is essentially true for all of us, it's our beliefs that many a times, most of the times, is what I perceive, block us from success. But for you, this is really very significant. There's a way of being, or not just a way of being, rather, I would say there's some old thought or pattern that you are exploring so much, or you are investing so much into, that is what is actualizing this pause in your life. Because with the magician is also a trickster energy in a way. So you might think that you are quite righteously doing the thing that is required, but under the pretext of healing yourself, or healing this wound, or healing this for everybody. And I'm not saying the pretext or the intention is incorrect, rather it's clouded your judgment so much, or your awareness rather, not just your judgment, your awareness so much that you're unable to see how it's now, you know, this is over tending to a wound, or over investing in a wound which may not even be yours to heal, pile two. Because what I'm perceiving is maybe there's a part that definitely you have to play to ease this, especially when the lineage thing was coming through. But the amount of time and effort you're putting into, or the amount of energy that is going into this, I think you're way beyond your capacity, or what you more than capacity, while that would be secondary. But more than that, what you need to do, or what you were required to do as a soul, you've done most of it. In fact, like, your part is done. Now let the universe take care of it. But because you might be thinking that you're doing the right thing, you are, especially with the hangman, you're certainly going into deep self-reflection here, to change your perspective, to and essentially to change the perspective of those around you. And it is working. Don't I am completely, that's what's coming through. So I'm not at all denying your efforts at all, or the success that it's bringing, but it is keeping you in a loop which you may not be able to look at here. And it's coming up in new ways, especially with the magician card coming through. It's coming up in new ways, and you need to be more protective of your energy, because people unintentionally or intentionally, could be either ways, bringing that energy into your area, into your life, into your energy. And you might be misinterpreting that as, okay, I need to clean this up as well. No, now it's individual people's responsibility, because you are doing your work. All right, let's see, how can you spot this quickly? Mystery. Yeah, anywhere there's this air of confusion or the Seven of Cups energy as to it's too mystical, letting go. Yeah, you need to let go of people who might wow, let go of people that came to through very easily or effortlessly. So I do perceive that there's certain energetic cords you need to cut with people and let go of. Yeah, this is it's coming as blunt truth or something very harsh, but you have to let go of treating their misery. You are not the one to do that. They have to take up the responsibility because they might even it's even unintentionally, people might not know that they are trapped in this mysterious energy that they are telling themselves. Their story is so mysterious, it's so complicated, it's so affected by variables, and of course that is true. But they're using these analogies or concepts as a crutch, not as wisdom. And you may not be able to recognize that at this point in time. So the quick quick way to actually gauge this is when people are repeating their stories and they're like, I don't know how this is happening again. I did this and did that. And you might have to be more discerning as to how much are people genuinely being accountable, and how much are they actually putting in the work. Are they using the advice that you are sharing? Are they using the tools that you may be sharing? Are they actually using other tools or connecting with the right people to solve their problem or not? So this responsibility that you may have taken up to heal a lot of people or heal your community, because that's what we were getting. You want to create that golden energy of, golden energy within a community, and the community where it is a symbiotic community where everyone's receiving, everyone's gifting each other effortlessly. So, and everyone feels abundant. The mystery of misery is not for you to solve. While two, that's what you need to understand. So um of course, guide them to the right people or guide them as per your awareness, but do not get so involved into resolving other people's mystery. It is not your responsibility, at least at this point in time. Now let's see, what requires to be done to transform it. So we sort of have touched upon it, but let's see. All right, we have Emperor. All major arcanas apart from the Knight of Swords. And yeah, wow. Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune, and then we have the Three of Swords. Pile one, if you've been, coddling these people, you need to be the bearer of truth, and maybe you will be looked upon as aggressive, angry, because you're moving from a soft energy to while we do have the Knight of Swords, that's the intention, but you're moving away from a soft energy to a more discerning and firm energy. So it's going to change people's attitude towards you, and they might feel heartbroken actually with the Three of Swords, but that's people's perception of you. Yet you need to stand true in the awareness, the wisdom that you have gained, and share that with people. It might be the hard truth or the bitter truths that they might have to swallow, and some of it could be the truth that you need to swallow, which is people may not want to heal, or the people that you want to heal, they don't want to heal, or they don't want to heal the way you would want to. So such truths might come to light, and it could be difficult to adjust to, but it's going to set you free. Pile two, you have to be more in allowance of how people heal, how people ease their lives. It is not your responsibility, and it is also your responsibility to show them the truth as per your awareness, and for them to take it or not is not up to you. You just have the responsibility to be in your truth, share the wisdom that you have, share what could be of contribution, but that's it. You cannot pick up a person, clean them up, and change their life entirely if they are not willing to at all. You may wish for their wellness, but that's or their well-being, but that's about it. You can feed a person for a day, But if you teach them, they can feed themselves for days, right? So that is what needs to happen here, because there could be a lot of not taking responsibility of amongst the people that are around you, or taking accountability. We have Santa Muerte herself, that this deep transformation that's required here. And the transformation will happen as you step into your mastery, your strengths, change the way you address people and not coddle them. It's going to be a little tough for sure with the Three of Swords, but it's going to be, the truth that will set you free. Let's see the outcome once you do this transformation. I just had to make a cut there because I had to put that crystal or rock there. Anyway, the card is meditation improvements require persistence. To me, that does share that, or tell me that this transformation is going to help you have persistence or stability that you could not have, and the persistence that you can sustainably carry forward. And for many of you, maybe you may not have been able to give yourself time, or time to your innate practices, your innate innate practices, but your inner world practices, because you were so much involved in other people's energy and taking care of them in some way, shape, or form. But you are going to get a lot of time for the same, and that's going to make easy things much easier for you. And your clarity, your innate clarity, is going to come online. And what I am also perceiving is it's going to multiply, or rather increase your discernment so much, so that you'll be very quick to cut off or stop things from entering into your energy field that may suck away at your energy. So you will be much discerning as to who needs to come through or what needs to come through in your energy field. Let's see, how is this success going to show up for you once you do the transformation. We have Judgment and the Ace of Cups. Wow. Pile two, I do perceive that your success is going to show up quite clearly, and so much so that you are going to feel so much more fulfilled in your heart, because I can perceive that with the Judgment and the Ace of Cups, you will know that you're standing in your soul's calling, and you're moving forward in your soul's calling, and from a place of absolute fulfillment. You are going to feel the presence of Soul Spirit, God, whoever you believe in, or your ancestors, and you will perceive their strength, their support, their guidance so strongly. And it will be a surge of new energy in your life. That's what I'm perceiving. Like the energy that I'm perceiving here is unlimited, in a way. Of course, there is a limitation, but what I'm perceiving is a lot of energy for you to sustain, move through this quite sustainably and stably. So you're not going to lose out on anything. There's going to be full-fledged, um, force, life force moving through you. Your life force is going to feel refreshed and renewed as you tap into this energy with the transformation that we talked about. So there's a renewed sense essentially, and that renewed sense, you can sense that renewed sense will carry you through this journey, through your life purpose, quite effortlessly so. And I do perceive there's a lot of opening of the heart chakra in some way, shape, or form. So there's more energy in your fourth energy center, which is your heart chakra, your heart center. And you will not feel depleted. That's what there's no, the feeling of depletion will reduce to almost zero, or reduce a lot rather, as you step into this. And you would know what steps to take. You will be guided to the right steps to fulfill yourself, to refresh or replenish your energy. All right, pile two, that's all that I have for you. Please don't forget to check out Helen's reading on what strength is, showing up right now for you to achieve success. Again, the link to that will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Thank you. Bye bye. Hello, group three. If you chose the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, this is going to be your reading. And before we get into your reading, Let's see what needs to come through psychically and through channeling. So I'm getting a lot of green color, especially like grass green, not forest green. And I'm getting a cup. So wow, that's interesting because what I'm receiving is more so very soft energy, but also connected to the earth because I'm literally getting the texture of, short grass, but it's soft. So I wonder if some of you like to go out in the nature, you sit in the garden that you have, or you go to parks. The energy of fountain is coming through strongly, and not a very fancy fountain, so to speak, but more so a simple, humble. Yeah, that's the energy, the humbleness, the humility. Wow, that's the energy around what your idea of success is. Humility, being able to, again, this service oriented energy, being able to share your cup also with others. So not just provide for others, but be in a place where you could share your gifts with others and others can share with you. So sort of similar to a pile, but a different energy. There's some sort of quietness, a softness, a sense of tranquility, peace. That's what I'm perceiving here. And a strong sense of groundedness, basically, that is very, very profound for this pile. So maybe this pile, you guys, what I'm perceiving is your idea of success is not very flamboyant and not very out there. It's living a peaceful, happy life, even if it's a life in a quaint village, in a quaint place, a small village, a small place. Maybe it's a village, maybe it's a suburban area. It's just that what your idea of success is just living life peacefully. That's all. No drama, no drama, nothing big of any sort. Just doing your work, just being yourself and sharing your cup, sharing what you have that you could share with others, and sharing what you have with others. There's a lot of humility in this file. That's what I'm receiving. Anyway, moving forward, let us see the current belief that is impacting your success. Sun card. Yeah, wow. While it's a sun card, I'm not getting a lot of, strong solar energy. This is more so being content, being happy, and especially happy. You're happy inner child, essentially. That's what I'm receiving, which is cool. Like, I didn't expect the sun cards. I'm really happy to see that. Your current belief is you are satisfied and you're satisfied with the littlest of things, and that's what's impacting your success right now. Let's see what is the hidden pattern that is impacting your success. All right, we have solitude. Are you being a little aloof? Being too introvert? Pile number three. Dive deep. So I wonder, the imagery and the visions that I was getting of a humble life. I wonder, file free, if you are supposed to be, for some of you, I wouldn't say for everybody, but for some of you, I definitely perceive that you're meant to show up more and not live a very secluded, isolated life. Because with solitude, what I'm perceiving is you love your solitude, you'll have a lot of peace for sure, but it's impacting your success. Let's see how it's impacting your success. We have, okay, we have, yeah, it's similar to solitude. That's what I was saying. Then we have the Hanged Man and we have Ten of Pentacles. You don't want to be, or you don't want to be bothered by the world, basically. Pile, pile number three, you are not at all interested in society, in people, in some way, shape, or form. And like I said, that humble living, just sharing with the people around you, that's coming through very strongly even with these cards. So it's impacting your success because maybe you are too restricted to a small place or a limited place. It's not about small or big, but it's a limitation because maybe pile number three, you need to have, not need to have, you're meant to have a bigger impact in the world. Hmm. How could you spot this quickly? Your reading is going quite faster than the other piles. That's interesting. Gratitude. And we have acceptance at the bottom of the deck, which is interesting. So I would like some more clarity about gratitude. Yeah, that humility thing, that's what I'm receiving. That humility, while it is a wonderful trait, and it's not about, letting go of that, but what I'm receiving with gratitude is also that under the aware not un under the influence, but under the pretext of gratitude, you might be living a very, very small life because what I'm perceiving is there's too much of giving credits to others or giving credits to too much in the sense that it's not wrong. You are not wrong in giving credits to people or giving them their flowers when they do deserve it. This is more so not recognizing the potency and strength you have and how vital it is that people are able to witness it because it's a limited space that you are in. That is what is coming time and again. It's a small space. This is something you are enclosing yourself within your comfort zone. Essentially, that's what I'm guessing. Not guessing, that's what I'm receiving. You are in an enclosed place or in an enclosed energy where you are comfortable. While, of course, there's nothing wrong or right about it, and I'm not here to tell you how to live your life at all. But we're talking about what is a hidden pattern that's impacting your success, and that's what this gratitude is definitely multiplying your success or your resources. So do not let go of that. Yet you need to recognize the resources that you have are meant for you in as a support system so that you could share your wisdom, your gifts, your talents with the world because that's what's required. You're in a very small ecosystem right now and you need to expand more because there are people that could not, it's not just people, there are energies within the world that would love to receive from you and actually have, much better lives or much better atmosphere around them the more they are able to witness you or receive from you. So how can you spot that? The quickest way to spot that with gratitude is when you play too humble or too small. You might you tell yourself that you're being humble, but you need to actually quite honestly ask yourself, are you actually being humble or are you just trying, are you just using gratitude and humility to escape from what you need to be, what you are meant to be, rather, not just need to be, what you are meant to be or who you are meant to be. So what could you do? What is required to be done to transform this? We have, oh, okay. I have to use a crystal now. Let's use this one. We have the star card. Isn't that about showing up? No way. But it's also about healing. So we have star, then we have the King of Cups, and yeah, Eight of Wands. For some of you, I wonder if this is a father wound. So, a fear of success, or maybe even outgrowing success of, oh, wow, your father or someone who was a father figure to you. So, outgrowing their success, there could be a fear around that that's blocking you or blocking your success, or you don't want to, surpass the success, freedom, even that's the word that's come to freedom, the financial freedom maybe that he actualized, or you saw that father figure actualize in your life. So what you could do to transform this is to heal that wound and accept your gift, accept your strength, accept your wisdom. Acceptance was a card, right? At the bottom of the deck here. Accept the value you bring. Accept that you are the extension of source energy, of God energy, and you are meant to shine. And with the Eight of Wands, this is transformation of sharing the healing that you have done, the wisdom that you have gained, sharing that with people, and quite abundantly so. Maybe in, through social media or through multiple short workshops, smaller workshops. So make smaller attempts, but multiple attempts is what I'm receiving. So the more you are able to share, you are going to recognize, there is wisdom coming through you. It's not just about the wisdom you've gained, because I do perceive that you guys could be a channel for, source, and everyone is a channel in that way, that we are an extension of source energy, but you probably have the capacity to so bring in messages, bring in information, bring in healing, especially, or specifically healing messages is what I'm receiving. And for some of you, maybe you're meant to be healers or you're already healers, and sharing that in small pockets or multiple pockets, instead of going all in at once and producing something huge. No, what I'm receiving is more so continuous sharing outside of you, and not just keeping it to yourself. And specifically social media could work in a way, because it's the easiest way to expand your horizons beyond what you know, because you are reaching many more people here. So sharing your wisdom online, or conducting small workshops, small online classes, small lives where you share your wisdom, or you do some sort of healing work, or you do some sort of work that brings emotional stability to people, is going to be the transformation that is required here to change this. Essentially, if you look at it, pile three, for the hidden pattern to change, in the simplest of terms, you have to show up in the world more and share your wisdom. Do not shy away from accepting what gifts you carry that could be shared with the world. Like, you need to recognize that you are required. Everyone is required, everyone's consciousness is required, and so is yours. And at this time, it's extremely important for you to show up with that consciousness, that awareness, that wisdom, because people require it. Now, once you do this transformation, what's going to be the outcome? Clear and activate, create sacred space. So as you clear and activate, and especially the energy of activation and awakened spirit, desire to change, so you do have the desire to contribute to people, may recognize it, but you're like too humble. Maybe I'm not meant to be a leader in that sense, or maybe I'm not meant to heal. It's just a pastime, or wow, a habit. Interesting. So maybe you just look at it as a hobby or something that you do habitually, and not as your strength. But that's what you need to remember. It is your strength. And with clear and activate, the outcome is actually going to be this sentence itself: create sacred space. You're going to create a sacred space for a lot of people. You may not recognize that right now, but with this transformation, you are actually creating a sacred space. And I do wonder if that's actually what you want. And and you might have done it in a smaller way, but you're meant to do it at a larger scale compared to wherever you are right now. Pile three. At the end, now we are going to look at how is success going to show up for you. All right, let me just check the cards. Yeah. Wow. Emperor and the Eight of Pentacles. That's just beautiful. How it's going to show up is you knowing, your worth. This is self mastery essentially. Pile three, you will be mastering a lot of your demons, a lot of your challenges, and not just that. I do sense a lot of sincerity, a lot of hard work with the Eight of Pentacles here. So this is not something like a fluke or something that you've pulled out of thin air, has no credibility. No, with the Eight of Pentacles, how the success is going to show up is that you are going to see the proof in the pudding. You are going to see how people connect with the wisdom you are sharing, and that in itself, it's not the appreciation, it's the transformation that you would see within people. That's going to be a proof of your hard work, the time that you spend, the money, the energy you spent in honing your skills. That's going to show up quite strongly. So, and your success is that you will be seen as an authority figure, as a leader in the area of work that you do. So, pile three, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share thoughts in the comment section below. And before that, please do not forget to look at the other part of the reading where Helen looks at what unexpected success is. Oh, sorry, unexpected strength is contributing to your success or will bring you success at this point in time. Her reading will be in the description box below. In the link to her reading will be in the description box below. Again, thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye.